Guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a interesting, different video for you guys. I'm going to show you guys all the palettes that I have. I thought this would be a really awesome video because I have not seen it on YouTube. I know that it exists because I checked before I got up in this video being like, yeah, I'm the first YouTuber to do this. Wasn't gonna do that to you. I am not gonna go in and swatch every shade. That would be crazy. But I'm gonna show you what the drawer looks like, and we are gonna swatch probably half of the palette. Just so you guys can get an idea, my palettes live right here. Voila. This is what the drawer looks like. It is packed full. There are tons of palettes in here. Since you see what the organization of the drawer looks like, which I'm just lying, it never really looks this clean, we are going to take these palettes out and I am just going to show you what is in them. Oh my god. Okay, we got a stack. The first 4 palettes that I have are all from my brand, Glaminizers. Self-promo. Anyway, these palettes... Oh my god, I hope we don't have to have a funeral. It's fine. Wow, that never happens. There wasn't a death in the family today. These back cramps, these period cramps are getting the best of me right now, I'm not gonna lie. I have 2 of my glittery black palettes in here from my company, Glaminizers. And to be honest, these are not in the best shape. These are just kind of, they're in here as keepsakes, sort of, as palettes that I once sold or once had. I'll just show you because that's what this video is about. But this one is full of glitters that I just dig into whenever I'm doing an SFX or a paint look. So this one's super messy, but this is my first ever glitter palette that I made myself, which is why it's a fucking disaster. Also, I'm not someone who like keeps their palettes clean. Like, that's not me. I'm just like, I use it and keep going. Next, I have one of my beautiful glitter covered gold palettes. These you can actually purchase on my website. They're so fucking cute. I love these. And in here, I have some new Glaminizer shades that I've been testing. These are the ones that I've decided are like a little bit too much fallout. They're kind of dry. The pigment flakes off. So these are unreleased shades. And then I have a random MAC eyeshadow in here. I kind of organize half of my palettes in order from the size that they are. So my palettes are actually a little bit longer than your standard like Too Faced, Kat Von D, all that. They're a little bit longer and they are more sleek and compact. I'm going to show you guys 2 of my Lorac Pro palettes. I have Lorac Pro 1 and 2. The hype for these when I was in 11th grade, 17 or 18, was like unreal. I mean, like, if you didn't have this palette, you weren't doing makeup. That's basically how it was. And honestly, I don't even reach for these. I don't love these. These are not my shit. But at the time, I was convinced I couldn't be a makeup artist without them. So this is what they look like. The black one is the Pro Original palette, number 1, and then the gray is the second one. Like I said, I don't really use these much, but they have a beautiful like array of shades. These would be really great if you thought about it, but overall, I'm not too much of a fan. The pigment is there for the shimmer shades, but the mattes are very, very chalky, and I feel like they don't blend very well. Next, I have my OG, my love, my first. Literally, this has such an important place in my life. You can barely see it, but this is the original Naked palette from Urban Decay. This is the Naked palette that I had when I was in high school, when I was in 9th grade, 10th grade. This was my shit. I wore this every single night I went out to a party or anything with my friends. So I kind of use this on clients now and again, but overall, this is more of a keepsake for me. Hit pan on a couple of the shades, but overall, what made me fall in love with this palette was the shade Half Baked, which is where my love for gold eyeshadow began. It is the most beautiful gold eyeshadow, and since I hit pan so much, I went and bought it as a single shadow from Urban Decay. Literally, out of every single Naked palette that's ever released, this is the one you should buy if you're gonna spend your money on a Naked palette. All right, next I have the Kat Von D Shade and Light palette. I remember the hype around this palette was huge, and people were super excited about this palette. It is an entirely matte palette, like completely matte. There is not one satin or one shimmer like eyeshadow in here, literally at all. It looks like this. It is warm and cool tones. The concept behind it is every single set of 4 shadows is like a look. So for example, from here over, that's a whole eyeshadow look. From here to here, that's an eyeshadow look. From here to here is an eyeshadow look. I don't use it like that, but I see where Kat was going with this. I can feel it. For me, I don't pull this out very often. I use it for the black shadow because the black shadow is pretty pigmented. This orange is a beautiful transition transition shade. It's just a little bit too dark for me. But overall, I think the warm browns are really nice. Other than that, I'm not really into this palette. All these lighter shades, these gray shades, they don't get any use for me at all. It's all about the warm shades for me. I have something I absolutely fell in love with when I first got it. This is the Too Faced Semi-Sweet Chocolate Bar palette. This shit smells so good. I love this palette. First, packaging is A1. It literally is a chocolate bar. So beautiful. I wasn't really into the shades that are in the original chocolate bar palette. When I saw them come out with this, I was really like intrigued by the shades because there are a lot of warmer shades in here. I reach for this palette relatively often. I love the warm browns that are in here, and this color, Butter Pecan, this color is the most gorgeous brow bone highlight. Gorgeous. We have a palette that I bought when I was in New York. Literally obsessed over the Modern Renaissance palette. I was like, this is bomb. This is beautiful. It's one of a kind. I thought it was so well produced and well thought out. I mean, even just the names, the concept, everything. I love what Claudia did with this palette. This is what it looks like. It has so many like warm pink, red, like just a beautiful, beautiful palette. And as you can see, Love Letter, it looks like I hit pan, but really what happened was I hit pan and then the shadow just was like, yo, I'm gonna fall out. I'm gonna fall on the floor. So she fell on the floor. She has now passed away and I need another one. But also one thing I really love about this palette, oh my God, I just saved their life. I'm gonna put these down. One thing I love about this palette is this section, this quad over here of like these, you know what, I'm lying. These 6 right here are amazing because these you can put in your crease, these can be transition shades, brow bone highlight, and this, I believe it's Primavera. Yep, this gold shade on the lid is gorgeous. Like, I loved him. Now I will say I literally like I don't see y'all over here. These 3 colors, like I don't know them. I've never talked to them before. One palette that has made me venture into color and that I love so much. It is the Urban Decay Electric palette. My mom bought this for me and I like lost my shit. I was so excited because I don't have anything like this. Look at this color. Yes. So this blue is probably my favorite color in the entire palette. As you can see, the fallout has gotten on here. Now, one thing I will say, this palette is a pigment palette. These are pressed pigments. So a lot of these shades are not meant to be used on your eyes. The reason I'm putting that in quotations is because they know damn well they're selling this as an eyeshadow palette, but the warning for not using the reds and the purples is on the back. Those probably have red lake in them and dyes. So you will get a little bit of stain out of these shadows. Like for example, this pink, she hates me, but I use it for a lot of my looks. So you guys can see they're really pigmented and they are super colorful, but they're technically not meant to be used on your eyes. Nothing's gonna happen to you, but it's just not the best for you because it will stain your skin. So usually when I do an SFX look or a paint look or whatever, and I use these, I know damn well I'm gonna be walking out the house with a pink face tomorrow. Next, I have an impulse buy. This is a really old buy for me, but this is the Lorac Gold Unzipped palette. I saw this when it first came out and was super in love with it just because I saw gold, and so I thought that it would be like a match made in heaven for me. This is what the palette looks like. I still think it is a really beautiful palette, but I can say their mattes are just very chalky, but the only thing is they have such dark browns and they have no transitional shades, so it would be kind of hard to do a tutorial with just this. This shade in the middle, this copper shade, wins at life. I can say though, it literally looks exactly like my shade Cocoa. I live for colors like that. And next is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Shadow Couture palette. The hype around this palette was real. And I will say the only reason I have this palette to this day is because of the colors over here. I'm addicted to Soft Peach, Morocco, and Fudge. Those colors, those mattes, I will pull this palette out on a regular everyday makeup look or a smoky eye and use these colors because they are warm, they are rich colors, they're gorgeous on the eyes, and they blend really well.
Did you forget I was in here?
Yeah, babe, I forgot. Baby, no, how can I forget?
Well, you didn't come in here and say hi to me or nothing.
Baby, I've been filming for 40 minutes and this is what you do.
Well, maybe you should take 2 minutes and come in here and see me.
Baby, did you just call me to make me feel bad?
No, I called you to ask you if you forgot about me. Well, we already moved on from that.
Why would I forget about you in the first place?
I don't know. I asked myself the same question for about 8 minutes and I was like, she's gonna come in here. She's quiet now. But no, I hope filming's going well. I hear you dropping a lot of things. I don't think that's part of it, but that's okay.
Palette looks like this. It is beautiful. I have no complaints. I love the pigment on this palette, and I do grab this every once in a while and use it. And then their shimmer shades are really pigmented and quite beautiful, I will say. So this palette is really, really nice, and if you got your hands on it, then you're lucky. I think this is going to be like a collector's item because I don't think they ever even released it for a second round of stock. I believe it was just one and done, and it came with a couple other items which are no longer sold, which I still have and I absolutely love. I think this is such an iconic collab and it will forever be in my makeup collection. Next, I have the BH Cosmetics and Carly Bible palette. This palette in itself is iconic because she created such a nice ass, beautiful, different, unique, quality palette for so cheap. This palette literally was like $12. And it's also very pigmented and just very beautiful. I mean, I just think she did such a wonderful job. If you can see how tan my arm is, it's because I put Cocoa Glow on. That's my bronzy lotion. But these are 4 highlight shades, and I also thought that it was so beautiful and amazing that she included highlight shades for most complexions. You know, I've never seen a YouTuber actually pay attention to something like that when they are focusing on releasing their own palette. Normally it's what they love and what they need. So next I have the Stila in the Light palette. This is alright. There's nothing too crazy great about it, but it looks like this. Stila released, I believe, like 3 or 4 different palettes that look like this, just different colors, like in the light, in the dark, in the sun, in the shade, like that sort of thing. But these shadows are pretty pigmented and they're pretty nice. The shimmers are really pretty, and I'm not too much of a fan of the mattes. Overall, this palette's like, alright, I wouldn't say go out and buy it right now. Next, I have a brand new palette that I'm actually going to be doing a review and test on, and that is the Jessie's Girl Backstage Collection palette. I'm not going to swatch this palette for you guys or really show you up close because I want you to be excited for the video, but it looks like this. Next, I have the Dream Street palette. This is by Kathleen Lights and ColourPop. This is her collab she just created, and if you guys want to see a full in-depth swatch and review video where I actually try on these eyeshadows, there is a video on my channel. Now I have my holy grail staple must-have in my makeup collection at all times, and that is the one and only Makeup Forever Flash palette. This palette, when I look at it, it just reminds me of my artistry, and it brings me back to so many amazing looks that I have created and reminds me how much I love to paint. So I am so thankful for Makeup Forever creating products like this. This palette is one of a kind. I love it so much. This is actually the white section, which is completely empty. You guys can see I've dug into these quite a bit. My Flash palette has been through it and back, but I love this thing and I will always have one of these in my collection. There's glitter, there's cat fur in it, but I still love it just as much. Now I have a Z palette in here that is just filled with a bunch of random things. Some of my like contour powders, highlight powders, a blush, and then I have a bunch of my glitters from Glamonizers in here. These are just things that I use on clients, so they just kind of hang out in here until I decide that I need to put it in another palette, whatever. They just kind of chill in here. I have so many glitters that they're just kind of like everywhere at this point. Next we have my Life palette, which is my single shadow everyday palette. This Z palette I kind of curated to the stuff that I like, and it is missing a couple shades because I have hit pan and run out of a lot of the shadows that I love. Just to give you guys an idea, this is what I'm into. These are my colors. As you can see, it is a warm brown, smoky, golden, shimmery, bronzy palette, and this is the kind of colors that I absolutely live for. So I keep in here some MAC, Anastasia, Beverly Hills, Makeup Geek, and of course Glamonizer shadows. There are also 2 Makeup Forever shadows. The huge pans are the Makeup Forever ones. I'm going to show you guys some swatches of some of my Glamonizer shadows that I use on an everyday basis that I love literally so freaking much. The wonderful part about my shadows is they're literally so freaking soft. They literally are like velvety and smooth to the touch, and then the pigment is amazing the way that the pigment pays off. So yeah, I love them. They're so pretty, super pigmented. We are down for the count. We only have 3 palettes left, and these are my huge ass palettes, all by Morphe. So just starting off with the Jaclyn Hill palette. This is forever a staple in my collection now. I absolutely love this palette. I think she fucking nailed it. This palette is great. As you can see, I've started to get my use out of it. This palette comes with 35 shades. The pigmentation is amazing. I compared my shadows when I was working on my formula to Morphe, the Jaclyn Hill palette, only because she had hers formulated specifically for this palette. And I feel like I literally matched Morphe and then made mine better. So this definitely was an inspirational palette for me, and it helped me create my shadows that I have today. I think she did so amazing with the color selection. I think it's fun. I think you can take it anywhere. And I don't worry when I bring this palette to do clients because I know that I will have pretty much everything that I need. I'll show you guys some swatches of what the colors look like. They're so beautiful, and I also really appreciate that she incorporated pigment in, like, pigmented different colors into this palette. So super pigmented. Oh, they're so pretty. Now I want to do a tutorial with these 3 shades. I love this. I love this, and I love Jaclyn Hill. This is such a good palette. Next, I have the 35F palette. Also, I mentioned this, I think, in like a Snapchat or on my live or something. What I was saying is, to any people who are starting out being a makeup artist, one thing that I love to do is actually label my palettes on the front of it, because some packaging, like for example this, it's black and it doesn't even have the name on it. They all look exactly the same. So I just put 35F on this one and 35O on this one, just so I can know. And I also do that with my MAC Studio Fix powders as well. This palette is one of my favorite palettes because I feel like if I need a lid shade and I'm bored and I want something different, I can just come here and I have 25 options. Like, I literally have so many options for lid shades. They're all beautiful, they're all so pigmented, and they're just super fun. Morphe has very good pigmentation, and I love the variety. Even in colors that look similar, you have a little bit of a different undertone or a little bit of a different finish. So I think that overall, the 35F palette for me is absolutely amazing, because I know I have so many swatches, but all these red swatches, these are from Morphe. I haven't even gotten anywhere near using all of these colors. I will say though that I feel like Linda just missed the mark on the last row. I get what she was doing here, but these matte shades suck. I don't like them. They don't blend. They're chalky. They don't work for me literally at all. But I would buy this palette just for all the shimmers in here because they really are that great. And I know Morphe palettes can be overwhelming because they have so freaking many. Also, I have an OG in here. This is the 35O palette, and the 350 was like the most hype palette I think ever, personally, just from what I was paying attention to. It's because it is a array of warm shades, and I feel like the majority of people turn towards those kind of colors, and I will forever have an appreciation for this palette. I will say, I don't know what it is, but this palette, I don't have as much of a problem blending the matte shades as I do in other Morphe palettes. It's very strange, and I will forever love this. I have to look into the like Morphe 350 second palette that they created because I really haven't looked into it. Guys, this is what happens to the towels in my house. They're covered in makeup, covered. All right guys, that is it for today's video. I really hope that you enjoyed looking at all my palettes and seeing my eyeshadow collection for the most part. If you guys want a separate video on all of my single shadows, my little pigment jar, that sort of thing, then give this video a thumbs up so that I know I should film that video. You guys have seen all my palettes. That's all I got. Literally, that's all of them. Comment below if you have any suggestions. I hope that I will see you in my next video. The next video is going to be all about my glitter gels, which are body glitters that can also go in your hair and on your face. They're an awesome makeup product that I hand make. They are by my brand Glamonizers. This is what I'm wearing on my cheeks and around my forehead. This color is called Rave Queen. If you guys want to know how to use these or where to get them, then make sure that you click the little notification bell down below. It will be the next video that goes up on my channel. I love you guys, and thank you again so much for watching, and I will see you in my next one.